Good morning and hello, y'all. Thursday. We are going to dive right in. But one quick note, if you want to support us, punch that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you can get notified of when new video is being uploaded. And in the description box down below, there are a couple of links where you can go and you can buy some Wicked Sarah church organization merchandise. Now, inadequacy. It's a condition of not being enough or not good enough. And these feelings of inadequacy, they generally are not based on fact. They usually have nothing to do with our performance or our abilities in life. Yes, there can be an internal reason for our feeling inadequate. But most part, we feel inadequate because of external influences. We judge our abilities to how well they measure up to other people's abilities and performance. And in life, we are very seldomly, if ever, on the same performance level. We are all at various points of performance levels. So when we measure how proficient we are in any particular field or category or activity by other people, we either end up with a feeling of being inadequate, not good enough, or we overinflate our ego. I personally I have wrestled myself with inadequacy, but not in the manner that a lot of people do. My wrestling with inadequacy was more about proving people wrong. Growing up, there were not high expectations because I've mentioned before, when I was a child, I was a problem child. I was always in and out of trouble. I I flunked out of a few grades. I dropped out of high school. People weren't expecting me to go anywhere. People were expecting me to either to expect me to end up institutionalized and weren't expecting me to accomplish anything. And I've had a lot of friends and I've known a lot of people that were similar to me, and they got into a lot of mental health problems because they believed what everybody was telling them. They didn't push back like I did. And it takes courage when somebody in your small community is, is telling you that you're inadequate in some way or another. And when it's not just one person, when it's a multitude of people that are telling you that you are inadequate in some way, it takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, "Well, you're wrong, and I'm going to prove you wrong." And a lot of times, our feeling of inadequacy stems from fear. The fear that we're not going to be accepted, is a fear that we're not going to be loved, the fear that we're not going to be liked, fear we're not going to because we feel that we're not adequate enough to get this job and hold this job. We feel that we're not that there we have an inadequacy in ourselves that will keep us from having the love that we want. But we must take courage. We must have courage. We must build courage. Because courage is what gives us the strength to overcome fear, overcome inadequacy, and overcome feeling inadequate. You are born with everything that you need. So from the moment we are born, we are adequate enough for this world. Just because we don't navigate the waters the same way that everybody else does, does not mean that we will not arrive at our destination. It may take us a little longer, but who cares? You get there. And in life, what what does it mean to get there? What is the end game in life? Well, there's only one end game when it comes to life. So, what does it matter how long it takes for us to get there? Are we really in that much of a hurry to reach the end game of life? And if we are, then that's a whole nother topic together. So you need to know that you are adequate enough just because you were born. And from the time that we are born into this world, we begin the education process. And every day we learn. We learn how to walk. We learn how to talk. We learn how to go to the bathroom. We learn. We go to school. We learn mathematics. We learn English, and we learn and we learn and we learn. As long as you keep learning, you will always be adequate. Mm. That's interesting. To think about too. When I got clean, kind of weird. I vaguely remember navigating a new world with computers and the internet. I mean, yeah, it had been around for a while, and I can't tell you exactly how long. But anyway, y- you know, I had to learn to navigate a new world, and it had been very easily for me to get frustrated, to get mad, and feel inadequate because I feel like Rip Van Winkle here. It's like I slept for all these years, and when I woke up, the whole world was changed. But I didn't freeze in place. I went to college. I got some education behind me in IT. Actually, I was learning to fix computers. That's a whole nother mess. I didn't end up completing. my courses because I got injured. And so, but I continued learning on my own about how to navigate in this new digital world of ours. I mean, very first recordings I laid down was on what's called a shoebox recorder. Shoebox recorder is about the size of a shoebox. It takes a cassette, you hit play and record, and you record. And that's how I recorded my very first album. Obvious reasons that album didn't get released because I was an independent artist and I had no way of releasing it. I had no way of getting it on the vinyl. I had no way to get it onto a CD because CDs were starting to become a big thing. So I was just stuck recording. And then when I got clean and I found myself in this new digital world of ours, I found a way to record my second album and record my first album. I mean, record my second album and have my first album release, which was called Freedom's Ransom. And I've been trucking along ever since. I don't have nearly the back catalog that I did have. That's for a lot of different reasons. Well, not a lot of different reasons. Main reason is hard drive crashes. Hard drive crashes and the platform change. But even when I lost nearly over half of my catalog of recorded and released music, I didn't experience feelings of inadequacy. I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like that, the reason that this has happened to me is because I'm not good enough to be a recording artist. I just like, okay, whatever. And I strapped on my guitar and I started recording more music. So I don't have the catalog that I had, but I still got a catalog. And I did it in a relatively short amount of time. And I have made some money, not a whole lot of money, off of the music I've released. Tells me that there are people out there listening to it. There are people out there that will buy it occasionally, which tells me the reason that, at least financially speaking, I'm stuck in a rut because I don't have money to make money. It takes money to make money. Believe it or not, it's a true statement. There are a few exceptions to the rule, but it takes money to make money. But, yeah, you, eventually, if you boil inadequacy down, what you will end up with is a fear. A fear that I'm not good enough. A fear that a fear that I'm not capable of performing to the level of so and so. And in the end, all that matters is in here. It's inside of you. You measure according to you. You, you don't let other people's successes be the measuring stick, because then all you're doing is chasing somebody else's dream, somebody else's money. All you're doing then is chasing after what other people have, and so you devalue yourself as a result, because the value. Hold on a minute. Because how you value yourself is measured by the value of someone else. When the value or your value to always be measured by yourself. Never let someone else de- determine the value of you. I have a I have a mess load of problems that I have to overcome every day. And every day I get up and I put all of these problems that I have in the back of my mind. No, that's not correct. I don't put them in the back of my mind. I don't ignore them. I don't try to bury them. I get up every morning and I do everything I do is to move further along in becoming better today than I was yesterday. I have a stutter. I have speech impediment. I have problems with my speech. I have problems with my memory. I have a lot of conditions that if I allowed them, that they could stop me. And when I look, so when I look around at what other people are doing, which is it's very easy to do in this digital age. You see where this YouTuber's doing this, this person on Facebook is doing this, TikTok, Twitter, you know, you see how well people are doing, you see how far they're coming, and you may or may not know their backstory. You may or may not ever know their backstory. Maybe they got a backstory similar to mine, and they just don't talk about it, and that's fine. When I look at other people on YouTube, when I look at other people on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, I'm not looking at their analyticals. I don't care what their analyticals are. Because if I get caught up in their analyticals, then I will be comparing myself to them. When we start to compare ourselves to everybody else, we could end up with a feeling of inadequacy. Now, I will occasionally, if I come across a particular TikTok, YouTube, whatever that I seem as kind of that I don't necessarily understand how they're surviving on YouTube because I may or may not find their content funny. I may or may not understand how they became famous, so to speak, in the world, YouTube world, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. So, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And is it something that I want to invest my time in doing? Or is there something that I can take away from this? Maybe there's something here that I can take away from this to add onto what I'm already doing. My videos are always going to improve and they're always going to get better. And the reason that they are going to always improve and always get better, and the reason I can speak that with confidence is because the adage, practice makes perfect. It's true. Continue to do the same thing over and over, and you will get better at it. It's so, get up every morning, I do a video, and each video becomes better than the other video. Sometimes the positive change is minuscule. I may not notice it, but somebody else will notice it. So even when I look back and I see a video, I may not see how I improved. Somebody else will. But as I was saying, Well, when I look at it, this material that's on the internet, I don't care about a person's analyticals. I'm not judging myself by what they deliver. I am not comparing myself to them. They are not the measure that I use to measure success in my life. And that's where another fork in the river tends to occur. We measure success by external influences. Ooh, Betty's got a brand new diamond ring. Bob's got a Lamborghini. I need that. And so we measure our success by external forces. I've never measured my success by external forces. I've always been the only one to define what success is to me. And to me, I am successful. I have succeeded at everything that I said I was going to do since I was 5 years old. Became a rock and roll singer, become a published author. I have recorded multiple albums, although I may not be a household name. You could type in Wicked Sarah, WICCED SARAH, into the search engine, and you will bring up a whole load of stuff. iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, a lot of digital music outlets. I have t-shirts for sale out there. I am successful. Now, Johnny or Jane over here might come up to me and just try to say, well, I got bad news for you. You're not successful because you don't have a dime to your name. You're barely keeping a roof over your head and barely paying the bills. So, no, man, no, you are not successful. Well, you know what, Johnny, Jane, whoever, I've never defined success by how many dollars I have in my bank account. 5 years old, I said I was going to be a rock and roll singer. I became a rock singer. I said I was going to start my own publishing company and become an independent artist and author, and that's what I have done. So yeah, I took a long way around. I went through the briars and I went through the bushes and the thorns and I went through the raging rapids, swam across racing rapids. But I got to the other side. Now I can stand on the other side, on the shore of the other side, and see where I've come from. And see all that I've accomplished. This is how It isn't how long the journey is. It's about the quality of time on the journey. You know, there's been a lot of jokes made about it. A lot of movies and poked fun at it and stuff. Whole family gets in the car. We're going to grandma's. We're going to uncle's. We're going to Disneyland. We're going on a road trip. 5 minutes down the road. I gotta pee. I gotta pee. I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And so the journey we can be worn out by time we reach our destination. But if we enjoy the ride, you know, like Jerry Garcia put it in a Grateful Dead song, I may be going to hell, but at least I'm enjoying the ride. That's the attitude I've always had. I've enjoyed the ride. It ain't always been easy. Man, a lot of times I shocked a lot of people that I was still alive. But I made it. If 10, 15, 20 years from now, if the only thing that I leave behind, the only legacy I leave behind is all these videos that I am doing and all the music that I've recorded and released that I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And in all actuality, every morning I get up and I do a video, I actually accomplish more than what I originally set out to accomplish. So I have accomplished everything I said I was going to accomplish, and then accomplished more. So when those feelings come, when we're fear that we're not good enough, when we fear that we don't have good enough skills at whatever, we need to look at what we have accomplished. Tell ourselves what we have accomplished. Don't worry about telling the external world what we've accomplished because they're not going to listen to you anyway. Even if you have dead to rights proof, they're not going to listen to you. So, external world, don't worry about them. Tell yourself, hey, I did this. I did that. So I don't need to measure my success by what they did over there. Yeah, I taught myself how to sing. I taught myself how to play guitar. I don't read music. I Over the course of the last 15 years, I guess, I've had been told I sound like Jimi Hendrix. I've been told I sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan, guitar wise. And I just like, okay, well, that's cool. It's never my goal. I just wanted to play so that I could sing my songs. I was 15 when I realized that I may or may never have a band. So if I want to be a rock and roll singer, I better learn to accompany myself with the guitar. And I taught myself how to play guitar. And I know there'll be some people out. I know there's some people out there that will probably listen to a lot of my music and say, "Well, it's not rock and roll." Yeah, there's this guitar on it, and then there's your vocals, but that's not rock and roll because rock and roll, you got to have these drums, you got to have bass, you got to have this. No, no. It's not what. It's not what rock and roll is. Rock and roll is what you make it. And I don't let you define for me what rock and roll is. I define what rock and roll is. And that's been the key to my success. That's my key. That's a one key that I can give you success. You don't let nobody define success for you. You define what success is for yourself. You don't define it by materialistic means outside of the money, outside of the cars, outside of the houses. What does success look like? And I have a fat ass. Success looks like this. You get up every morning and you do whatever it is you do. You paint, play guitar, sing, write music, code, whatever it is that you do outside of your regular 9 to 5. And we don't all we don't all have the luxury of we don't all have the luxury of being supported by our success. Or do we? You get up every morning, you go to a job that you make money, It allows you to pay your bills. It allows you to put a roof over your head. Allows you to take care of your kids, your significant other. There's success. You're successful at taking care of yourself. If you have children and a spouse, you're successful at taking care of them. There's a success. You just have to learn to redefine success. You just, we just need to redefine define success. And we need to stop defining success through external influences. With that, I'm going to cut it out. Peace, love, and rock and roll, y'all.